Okay. Calendar up, calendar up. Okay, let's see here. Let's see here. We've had a bit of an exciting time. Um, my goodness. Lots going on. Lots going on. You guys are up in the wonderful world of Whitestone. You were given quite a few jobs before Finch's Divine Ascension, or Divine Acknowledgement, excuse me. And you decided it's time to make good on some of those make on some of those contracts you were given. They're not super big time, other than the zombie giants that you encountered and the centaur herd, whatever. Um, but yeah, you guys decided to take to the woods to look for that. Yvain had a most strange encounter. She encountered a silvery, almost near perfect little pond. And after throwing some rocks at it and destroying some water, um, you guys came to the summation that it was a portal, perhaps even to the Feywild, as the various Fey inclined individuals of your group were hurt by it, or just knocked out by it. Not really hurt, nauseated by it, more like to the point where Happy fully passed out. And Yvain was like, "I'm going in," and commit and did an inception on Happy, and found Happy in a house, and ran up to a little throne, and turned into some crazy long-eared, orange-haired dude, who dismissed Yvain from the dream that she was spying on, which has never happened. And then Happy came back and did a little tap dance and was like, ha, ha, look at me, nothing's wrong. It is, of course, worth noting that your party has a wonderful new member. It seems sent by none other than the scale bearers of the faith of Bahamut. You have received unto your fold a sorcerer of some ability who was welcomed by Finch. Tamorda has seemingly joined the crew for the time being and seems to been very upfront about his past with the cult of the Scaled Tyrant, which naturally prickled the paladins. Made them a little cautious. But luckily, it seems that Termadabata has a pretty well sealed, um, writ of, you know, what do we call it? I guess like a notice of work signed and stamped from a scale bearer in Oman, and also a letter of recommendation from someone who seems to be a past sort of mentor traveling figure. So on paper, Tamordabata checks out, and in practice, Tamordabata makes things blow up. So that's cool. Very helpful in a pinch, especially with zombie giants, as you encountered one and took them down. And I believe that is how you ended your session was destroying a zombie giant because screw those guys. Um, uh, no, my apologies. You continued your way on and went to Morin River Run, a little village at the uppermost mouth of the Morin River Run river. And yeah, met some people, talked to them, and tried to learn a little bit about the area. They told you about lights in a shack in one of the fishing villages that has been abandoned for the winter, down south down the river. And as you were making your way down there, and Kuro decided to howl to connect with their patron, it seemed to work. Funny enough, how cool is that? Um, and also, Drysrinn noticed a corpse. Yikes. I noticed it seems to be a corpse bearing sort of, shall we say, a vestment and symbology of the Storm Lord, which was an individual you're looking for, one Forrester Asher, who was hunting a snow white furred bear. And that is where we left off today. So we pick up the session with Drysrinn, you sort of noticing the glint coming off the quartz made into this sort of um, somewhat rudimentary um, uh, holy symbol to your god, and their body a little ways more down the river, only a couple feet more, but still. What do you do?
Well, at the end of this, is my mic on?
Yep, you're good.
Okay, I can't hear audio back, so this is weird. Um, anyway, uh, at the end of the last one, Dryswin was just overcome with so many emotions, seeing someone of the same faith fallen. So she's just gonna rush over. She doesn't care about anything else anymore.
Uh, Absolutely. You go running off. You guys see Drysrinn sort of run off after Kuros to the stars, and Drysrinn, you come right up to the holy symbol would be first. You pick that up first.
Yeah, I'll pick it up gently, just in case it's damaged or anything, and then continue on.
You pick it up carefully. It is not damaged, but you do see the quartz crossed lightning bolts on a piece of wood. Again, very a simple. Uh, yeah, something looks like it was made out back. Doesn't look like it was made in any city. And you continue onward to indeed find I believe it was a hobgoblin. To find the hobgoblin's, I might have got that wrong, but I believe it's a hobgoblin's body. I'm looking right now. Laying his body sort of sorry, it was a half orc. My apologies, it was a half orc.
Yes.
You see this half orc's body, sort of like it looks like they got caught on the rocks, like some protruding rocks on the shore, and that's what kind of stopped their body from flowing further down the river. And like I say, uh, robes, definitely wearing again. Looks like it was made in the outback. Doesn't look like it was made in any city, but nonetheless, vestments that are hand stitched with symbols of the Stormbringer, uh, the Storm Lord, uh, covered in blood and pale.
Like pale, like he's lost a lot of blood and still alive, or
Make a medicine check.
I'm good at these.
Great, great.
Oh, that's great. 30-20.
Very nice. You flip him over as the blood does seem somewhat fresh. It doesn't look too old. It could have been the water that's keeping it from coagulating, but it's uh, you know it isn't coagulated. His body is cold, but again, that could be from the cold mountain water river. Um, you flip him over, and he has no pun intended, some grisly wounds across him. You see that he is very much expired. Uh, he is no more. He looks to have been strong in life, muscular. You would denote this individual as a cleric, plain and simple, easy. May have a warrior's body, but you can see the symbols of clerical faith across him. This was a cleric, someone of the wilds, but a cleric nonetheless. And again, like really bad claw marks. And with your 20 medicine, I'll give you something. It absolutely looks like bear claw. Absolutely looks like bear claw. What's interesting is that the bear claw marks across the body have a thumb, and bears don't have thumbs. So the claws are definitely the depth and ripping power of a bear claw, but with a thumb, 4 digits in the thumb, which is not how a bear paw works.
Great, great. She's gonna we're gonna drag the body out of the river and alert everybody that it's not just a bear that's around, it is something weird. Apparently past parchment woods weird.
All right. I'm sure you all, as Drysrinn sort of drops to a knee and is like assessing this body, it'd be very easy to see what Drysrinn was focused on. So, yeah. You're muted, Hero, just so you know, if you were speaking and wanted to.
We have to
Can you
kill it.
can Yvain look at the body?
Go right
Uh,
ahead. Sorry.
all right. Yeah, you perhaps make a look at Drysrinn for permission and are given such. Making a medicine check. Is there something? What are you looking for exactly?
Well, I was hoping to do perhaps a survival or a nature check to identify the claw marks.
Um, oh, okay. That's a little different than examining. But most certainly, go ahead and make me a nature or arcana check to understand the claw marks.
All right, so uh, we will most. Can I guidance myself? What is that?
I'm
Sorry.
gonna I'm gonna say that
All
I'm
right,
not I'm
so
gonna say no for this one just because like
no, it's fine.
you
It's
don't
fine.
you don't think about thinking about things. You know what I mean?
We're just gonna
I can
we're just
cast
gonna hope for
guidance.
we're just gonna hope for the best. So, but it's all right. So, um, remember I rolled my thing for the day, and it was a wheel. So
Cool.
on the dice, we have a 16, and I believe we said nature.
Okay. Nature or
Uh,
arcana, whatever you want.
it will definitely be nature. It gives me a +5, which is a 21. So you know what? I'll take a 21, and we'll hope for the best.
21. You for nature. Um, even in the mountains of Terra, do the Ashari uh, tell cautionary tales to their young to beware the dangers of the wild and to beware strangers and strange beasts for many reasons, but one of which is especially for strangers, because those who wander in such distant places by themselves probably only do so by the grace of the fact that nothing can harm them, because they are under the throes of a terrible curse, a curse that gives them the spirit of an animal that is constantly at battle with their own spirit. And there are many types of variations of this curse. You would have been told about more mountainous based creatures, things of deception to be wary of. This is a bear claw with a thumb. You have heard nothing that you would have had to have probably looked out for in Terra. There's not a lot of bears in the mountains, but werebears, most certainly, are considered members of these cursed folk. They are dangerous. They can pass on their curse to those they battle. They are temperamental, monstrous, violent creatures. And it is said that it is remarkably hard to kill them as they're uh, considered impervious to being harmed by conventional weapons. They're considered invincible to the common man.
I'm going to convey all of this to the assorted folks around me who care to listen. So yeah, um, a werebear, maybe more. It's a curse, and it's not going to bring them back. Like, it's not an undead sort of thing. Like, we don't have to. We should burn the body out of respect. But it's not like it's going to rise, come morning time. I don't know how the process works. what makes you dead versus a werebear. Clearly, our cleric did not survive. If we think it is necessary, I can still question him, though I would prefer not to unless
I
there's
would
something we
prefer
cannot
we
fail.
didn't out
Thank
of
you.
respect.
Thank you.
So then the question is, well, I mean, obviously I have a feeling we're going to go after it, but do we have to?
I do.
Do we?
It doesn't have to be rushed, but eventually I will have to.
That's fine. I mean, where does it land on our collective list of priorities? Because I know that it means a lot to you. And we don't know if it's connected to everything else that's going on in these woods or everything that's going on with what Bahamut told us. So the question is, do we worry about it now or do we worry about it later?
If I can say something on that point.
Please.
If I'm correct, and we do indeed know the location of one of the dark vestiges, we are essentially waiting for marching orders. Those orders will come from two places. The Graveseer Charisse out of Whitestone. When she decides it is right, and no, I have no idea what makes that criteria. And when Camellia and the father, the priest at the Dawnfather's temple, have finished their work. Once those two things are in place, I rather guess it will be expected that we drop everything and go tend to that. Until then, we're sort of in a holding pattern.
All right. So there's the werebear that's now on the table. There's the town with the lights, but looming over all of that is a dark vestige. So, do we go to the house or do we go to the fishing village or do we decide that the werebear is more important? Because Ember's got a competition to be at in 3 days.
That's not important. If I'm there for it and I get there, that's fine. But if there is something that is taking the lives of not only, you know, people who have, manifest power and ability, like this follower of Cord, you are your villagers and woodsmen and those folks have zero chance. Zero. And whatever I need to do is so much fluff in comparison to those lost lives. Now, seeing that we are lamentably lacking a tracker, I guess my question for Trinket is there a trail that can be followed?
Uh, Trinket will approach the body. Go. Come forward and sniff the body. Give it a couple snoop sniffs. Just gonna get my dice. He is, after all, a level 20 bear. That is a class for bears only.
That is incredible.
That's all to say not quite he's no Vex'ahlia, but he knows his stuff. He's been learning from the best. He sniffs the body and he sort of big sniffs around the shore. And kind of is like trying to pick up the scent, and you're gonna notice him sort of like groan a little annoyed. If anyone would like to make a survival check of their own
Yvain
as
would
to
like
what his
to.
problem is, yeah, go for it.
He said survival.
Yeah,
All right. I am mostly certain. Okay, my dad got it. All right. So it's a 15 on the dice. I believe I have a +9 in survival, but my mouse is fucked off. So I'm going to pull it up on
no
my
worries.
phone. Give me a moment. I'm so sorry.
No, you're good. You're more than hit the DC. You're totally fine.
But I believe the
You're
final
like,
answer is 24.
yeah, you're good. Even with the dice roll. Yeah, you notice he's having trouble sniffing out any like the trail, and you look at where the body is, and the body's like in the river, and the body's sort of like shoved up against these stones that would have caught him as he traveled down river. And you kind of look upriver, and you recognize there isn't, unless he died in the mountains and miraculously stayed on track, which is very unlikely, or he died somewhere near like sea level basically. That'd probably be the way to go. That'd be probably where he died, probably somewhere upriver.
All
And that's why
right.
Trinket couldn't find it. Chances are, if he went upriver and found wherever he fell in, Trinket could probably take care of the rest.
All right. Actually, I'm pretty certain that we can do that.
Not too hard. Just gotta follow the river.
All right, so we're where it is. Next question. This is going to sound so insensitive. What do we do with him? We can't leave him out here.
Give me an hour and I can take care of the body.
Is there any rights clerics of Cord have that I would know about?
Make me a religion check.
Here we go again. Nope, fell off the table. Okay. 9. 15.
Funeral rites are more the realm of Raven Queen, specifically. But that isn't to say that, yeah, like there aren't some modifications based on faith. What'd you roll? 15?
Yeah.
You know, excellent. You know that the Storm Lord's faithful go to, it's some kind of, you can't remember all the details, but it's some kind of like great warrior afterlife, something with a Y. Anyway, not important. But point is, what we do know is that they say the Raven Queen knows to travel those souls to the realm of the Storm Lord. Usually, like a burning, like a pyre, um, isn't outside the realm of what most would like. He also looks to be somewhat sort of more wildly type. So you don't know what his specific tribe, clan, personal traditions are. But Stormlord, like, a pyre wouldn't be unusual. It also wouldn't be unusual to just like let the funeral rites be done by the faithful of Raven Queen.
Let's convey that a pyre's fine and the usual rites are good.
It'll take about an hour, but I can do it.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Okay. With everybody's help, though, Tormata will clear an area and then make a like the base of the fire burn, the little platform. You want to wrap his body, or you just want to put it on the way it is? Like, I mean, do you want to check to see if there's any personal effects that can be passed along?
Do you want to keep any personal effects?
I already have his holy symbol, right?
Yeah.
Yvain would like to check to see if there was any journals or any indication of what he had been doing, what he'd been looking for.
Sure. You look through his body. He doesn't have much. He's got he doesn't have any weapons. He does have a holster, but he has no weapons. So those might have got lost along the river or upstream or something. His backpack is filled of like, again, more wilder survival gear. Isn't like there's no city made tinderbox or anything like that. But there is flint. There is like wood carved spoon and so on and so forth. But mostly just like survival gear. Um, there might be a couple of like little trinkets and knickknacks. Let's see here. Trinket. Sorry, I don't know. Let's see here. You find in his bag. We're not doing that. Okay, let's try this one. Okay, you find a folded cloth, and when unfolded, you find a stone arrow head. And I'll say like a flattened thistle as well.
All right. I will take these things instead of burning them.
Okay. So with the help of everybody, I imagine you go to cutting down trees. If you have the ability to do so, whether by, hopefully by sword, probably by axe. Wouldn't want to dull your sword, but maybe axe snapping off twigs. Uh, Luckily you have a big old dragon with you who just like grabs the side of like rather large trees and just kind of snaps them like branches and does some of that shit. So that's helpful. But many of you have weapons, maybe hand axes or whatnot to do some chopping with. And, yeah, sure. After about an hour, a little funeral pyre is made. Nothing worthy of a king, but certainly someone worthy of a wilder folk.
And with that, Tormata will ask everybody to stand well back, like at least 30 feet. He'll shrug his robes off and he'll start by casting bonfire and just keep stoking the flames so they get higher and higher, brighter and brighter, stronger and stronger. He doesn't seem affected by the heat at all, but I imagine that everybody else is probably like, that's a little toasty.
Yeah. The heat is certainly welcome in the cold, and you are able to, yeah, make a proper funeral pyre.
And I will definitely, manipulate the flames so it doesn't go flickering and nothing goes flying away and starts a forest fire or anything like that.
All right, understood. Understood. Would you guys want to stick around for the entire burning, which might take a while, or would you? Yeah, okay. You guys stand. You watch this stranger burn on the pyre. and uh, it takes quite a while. It takes quite a while to watch it reduce to ash. But
2 to 3 hours.
yeah, this would take
Yeah.
this would take quite a while. Maybe around the because you've been working away making this pyre for about an hour. Um, and it's up to you guys how long you want to stand and watch this pyre for. It is cold and with the snow, a little damp too. So I don't think there's much worry about forest fire at this time of year. So as far as safety goes, you should be fine. But how long did you guys want to hang out for? Say 20 minutes
I will.
past 40 minutes. Oh, go ahead, Drysrinn.
I was gonna vote for like an hour and a half
Okay,
ish.
sure. I will say this certainly counts as a short rest if anyone needed it. But you guys stand, watch the fire burn, and yeah, and you take some time to maybe reflect. Especially you, Drysrinn, your resolve growing. You must bring vengeance. Vengeance for this poor man. This half-orc, excuse me. And yeah, after about an hour and a half, as the body is well and surely cooked, and much of the wood is as well, you may begin to leave if you wish. Did you wish to continue your journeys downriver, or did you want to go upriver to try and catch the trail of this bear?
Quick above the table question, just because I can't remember if it happened last session or not. When Galdric replied back, you said that the sense that I got is that he was headed towards me. Is that what we said or no?
That's exactly it.
We should maybe not leave.
That's what I was gonna say. I was gonna say I'm gonna stay till till Galdric gets here, and then we can decide what to do from there.
Baldric can
Well,
find us. It's not like with this group, we're not going to be trackable by somebody who lives here, who's a wolf for fuck's sake.
True.
Don't wade in the water. Walk along the shore. We'll leave a scent trail that's a mile wide.
I mean more so it's his job to know what goes on in these woods. Or I should say he made it his job. If there's a bear anywhere in these woods, I've got a feeling he'd know about it, and he might know more than we do.
And if we're headed in that direction and it's something that's on his to-do list, we're all arriving at the same point at the same time.
While they are discussing, Yvain will just go over to the earth, which I'm certain is still smoldering, and say a few words under her breath, and then continue.
May I ask which words are those?
Um,
You could be general if you want.
Something like, "May the embrace of the Wild Mother welcome you home, and may the Raven Queen commend you to your final rest."
I'm sure such rites, such words are very appropriate. You watch the smoke go up, and with the smoke is all that this person was, and their spirit too soars up the sky. So I will say this. I rolled the dice just out of curiosity, and I rolled an at 20. So the power of chance does its thing. So you're praying Yvain, and Ember and Kiro, you two are debating what best to do. You hear Beverly go, "Oh fuck! I mean, and you see standing over her is the like 10-foot tall, magnificent moonlit wolf Galdric, who stands in the shade of a tree line, black furred with these almost silvery white fur embellishments across him with uh, icy blue eyes and that speak of an intelligence beyond his bestial form. And I'll repost that little handout of Goldrick because he's such a cool guy. We love Goldrick. Goldrick, what a fella. Where are you, Goldrick? But anyway, oh yeah, here he is.
Such a good
So yeah,
boy.
less has symbols, more just has like very fine like black fur that degrades into like gray and then white across his belly and yeah, big wise eyes.
If Bev yelped, I'll just turn and look wherever she's looking. You are a lot faster than I thought you'd be.
You see a little winter steam sort of just like as anybody would breathe, just a little like a little huff comes out of his nose as if to say he resents that accusation. That he is not swift.
And then I'll turn back to everyone else and just say, so this is the wolf. Don't freak out. He's mostly nice. Kind of. And then turn back to Galdrick and just say, a lot has happened, but I think I'm finally on the track that you tried putting me on.
Kind of looks down at you, and just doesn't say anything, doesn't make any gesture, but is listening.
If the thunder in the valley was one undead giant, then good news. That's no longer a problem. If it's not, well, then we know what we're up against. We haven't seen any more centaurs, but that makes me more uneasy than anything else. And we just found out there might be a bear somewhere in this neck of the woods.
Continues to look at you.
The first two things we know about, and we know you know about, the werebear. Did you know it was there?
He doesn't say anything or make any explicit gesture that says yes, but he does kind of like almost seem to like narrow his eyes at you, which gives you the sense of affirmative.
Is it a problem that needs worrying about now?
You see Goldrick looks over to Pyre and and then looks back towards you and then kind of looks upriver towards the Alabaster Sierra Mountains.
I had a feeling you'd say that. Any chance you'd want to stick around and help?
Looks at you as if in consideration for a moment, and then turns upriver and starts padding in that direction.
Okay. And then I'll turn back to everyone else as he's walking away. I have a feeling he's going to show us upriver. We'll explain things on the way.
All right, Happy, come on.
Happy's like, jumps in a little pouch. For the first time in his life, he looks happy to be in that stupid pouch across your a little baby carrier on your chest. The first time he like is like looking at like when you can't see Happy's face and Happy doesn't know anyone else is looking. He's like, and then like sees maybe like Drysrinn, and you're like, you catch him and he's like, ah, and he like is all happy again. He's very much putting on a show. But yeah, you guys begin to follow wildly, completely unexpectedly. Goldrick takes a wide berth of the village itself. Big Bad Wolf doesn't walk in the middle of town. You'll also see Trinket sort of makes his way up and sort of walks with Goldrick. and the two of them kind of walk together like they're buddies.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, Galdric doesn't mind at all, and Trinket just wanders beside him and doesn't think much of it. And yeah, you follow Galdric up the ways, up past the village and further north upriver for about 2 miles upriver until you do see um, Trinket kind of lumbers ahead and Galdric kind of slows to a halt. Doesn't sit or anything, he just kind of stops and lets Trinket does his thing. But Trinket kind of lumbers up to and gets in and sort of comes up the other side. You see him kind of like bear swim, so his like face is just kind of up and he's like and gets across the river. And he shakes out all the cold from his fur and goes over to this patch of dark earth, which looks blood, like a rather large scattering of blood, where the tree, where the branches and the leaves have all been hacked down pretty hard, and it's very clear to see it was like the sign of conflict and battle, probably where he fell in.
And there's no way to get there but to swim or fly, I suppose.
I suppose. Gotta get across the river.
Wait, we have a carpet, it's fine.
Or wait, give me 2 seconds. I think I might have an answer. I do. How many of us are there?
If it wasn't winter, I wouldn't care about getting in the water, but there's no reason for anyone to get pneumonia or such.
Inch. I should have enough. For water walk?
You just happen to have it on you.
I do.
Oh, it's incredible. I have to know ahead of time if we're going to need it to have it.
It is real helpful. It's real helpful when your parents have it in the middle of the ocean, because turns out little kids love climbing over the rails of the ship, and so when your parents can cast water walk on you before they let you out of your room in the morning, you don't drown so easy.
Yeah, I could see that. I could see that. I could see how that would be helpful.
They figured at some point it was good for me to teach myself, just in case I got me into trouble. They weren't wrong.
I do like forward thinking. Hey, you know something? My mom taught me how to track and dress a deer when I was young. So, you know, same sort of thing.
Closest I got was fish. Though I will say there were some big fish.
I do love fish.
Not so much. All right, so water walk, me and at least 10 other willing creatures. I'm assuming between the carpet and the wings and the everything else and the 10 people using water walk, we should be fine.
I am not worried.
Then
You guys have you have a lot of resources for crossing the river.
Yvain's going to put Happy down and say, "Do you want to walk on water?" That'd be fun.
Kind of like does like a little cartwheel. His horn gets stuck in the ground when he tries to do it. He kind of flails a little bit and then pulls his head out of the ground.
So then I'll cast water walk on myself, Yvain, Happy, Formata, oh gosh, Galdric, Drysrinn, Ember, basically everyone that's standing there, because I think we don't have 10 creatures. I don't think. No, because
no, yeah, Finch is flying over. We'll say Beverly hops a trip. I think it's already swam over. Yeah, the water walk would cover everybody, and
perfect.
Yeah, easily cover everybody.
So then,
go ahead, please.
I was going to say, so then I'll just cast that and then kind of gesture towards the river and say, "Shall we go?"
Okay. You step onto the river. It's weird to feel your feet kind of bobbing as the river goes, or to a certain point, like kind of like your feet get like a little wet. Yeah, I'll say that your feet are kind of water repellent. So when like little waves like hit the side of your foot, it just kind of falls off and around. It's like you have those pants you see on all the like Facebook ads
Oh,
that where it's like they're completely waterproof and the water just like falls off of it and they're still dry. That's kind of what your boots have become at this point. And yeah, you guys walk across the water as if it was like really loose sand.
That's
Easy
incredible.
peasy. Yeah, you guys all
and
get
that
to the other
lasts for
side.
an
Oh,
hour.
sorry, go ahead. Oh, very nice. You guys all get to the other side. You look back and you see Goldrick just kind of sitting on the other side of the river. Then he stands up and just kind of very apathetically like pads back maybe 5 feet, and then kind of
Everybody move over real quick.
sprints at the river and very like almost fairy tale esque like jumps over the river and just kind of like sails over um a little bit like I want to the reference that my brain is going to is kind of like the wolves in Princess Mononoke, like how graceful they kind of jump. That's kind of what Galdrick does, just like jumps way further than a wolf should be capable of. It just sort of sails, almost floats across the river, and then lands down with the gravity you'd expect, but also with grace and very little sound. And then just kind of turns and without breath, just turns into a circle, kind of lays down to like watch you all do whatever it is you want to do with yourselves.
All
Somewhere in the
right.
back, Neo goes, "Whoa."
Show off. Anyway,
All right. So we're tracking a werebear.
tracking a werebear. Oh, it never does get easier. It never gets any easier or any less weird.
Trinket sniffs. And lo and behold, not like Trinket's got the scent, clearly, but not terribly hard to track you, imagine, as you see these like big, like really big, like footmarks that are like, you know how the bear has the pads, like has like the finger pads and the palm pad. It's the exact same, except it's in the shape of a massive human foot, with clear like bear claws scraping ahead of it. So basically, a bear claw if it was shaped like a human foot. Trinket starts following it.
I don't suppose any of us knows how to remove a curse. Yeah, I don't either.
Sorry, it's not my wheelhouse.
It's not really my wheelhouse either. Um,
Best I can do is spell magic and counter spell, but not really imagining that a curse is an actual spell. I could be wrong.
it can be.
Wait a minute.
And
You
there's
named, you said earlier these things can infect the other things that they fight,
yeah, it's
and we don't have anything to cure it.
if we can get, and we can get to a place where there are temples, priests can, and I believe some paladins can, but priests can certainly.
And you would know how long it takes for you to turn?
Oh,
Which-
only you had a blood hunter with you.
It-
Those guys know all about it.
With a 21, would I have any idea?
I'm gonna say no because
Okay.
you haven't specifically
Yeah.
studied them.
Totally fair.
You know what you know from folklore, basically.
Yeah. Uh,
Not to dissuade us off, not to push us, any of us off our path, because I'm pretty sure that's not going to happen. We're going to march toward this thing one way or the other, just so that we understand the gravity of the situation that we're about to walk into, death ain't even the worst option.
That's not the first time we've been in these shoes.
Who is we?
she looks at Ember and then Finch.
Yeah, Finch just like
They
gives
never-
like a thumbs up and holds the hammer in the other hand.
Like I said, I didn't think that it was going to push any of us off path. I know that we're marching toward this thing one way or another. Just figured it was worth saying out loud. The stakes felt big enough. But you know what? End of the world. It's fine.
Perspective there. See? Look at you.
I'm trying. I'm trying real hard.
You're doing great.
If we're following Trinket wherever Galdric is, Kiro is gonna kind of start either walking faster to catch up with him or drifting back to just to walk next to him.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah, he's definitely at the front. He's been sniffing, and I'll imagine you guys have been following along as Trinket makes his snoot work away. Yeah, and hey, doesn't take very long. You guys are following it, and eventually you are going to come to a big old cave. Big old cave, damn right. Where Trinket sort of stops sniffing. Kind of looks a little uncomfortable. Kind of not uncomfortable, but starts to kind of like kind of agitatedly kind of start stomping on his paws. Galdric just very uncaringly stands at the back and kind of is more like watching you now at this point, all of you guys, rather than like being a part of it.
Would this be a good time for Ember to send Red in to get a lay of the land so that we can see what's coming? Red always is good at this sort of reconnaissance.
I would say so.
We'll just give Ember a moment.
Ember's in debate with his hand.
Ember and Red are planning, yeah.
Yes.
They're planning.
They're
yes,
planning their
but
approach. So then the question is, we do this, we go to the fishing village, wherever. Still haven't found the centaurs, or they haven't found us, and we're assuming that there was only one giant left. Realistically, and Kiro kind of look over at Finch and Melisaurus, and then kind of turn towards everybody else and say, we have other things to do. We have bigger fish to fry, and I am all for staying in these woods however long it takes to make them the slightest bit safer. But is there anything else we could be doing? Since we're waiting for orders anyway.
Truthfully, yeah. We can address that once we've handled the problem at hand, yeah? Let's kill ourselves a werebear and go to a fishing village, and then maybe we go back. It might be good to sleep in a comfier space anyway.
As long as that old lady's not there again, I'm fine. And as long as no one else in this town looks at me like that, I'm fine.
Fair enough.
all right. Ember, did you want to send Red in to do a little pre-scout? That seemed to be a sentiment from the party. That would be valued.
Yeah, I'd be happy to.
Thank you.
You uncork the bottle, and as usual, the smoky red hand of Red appears out in front of you, gives you a little wave of the fingers, and is going to look at, like, move his hand around as if he's looking, and then turns around to see the cave entrance and kind of hand shrugs as if it knows, like, oh yeah, that's where I'm going. And then it turns itself into just a little cloud of mist and or cloud of smoke, black smoke, and then kind of lays itself on the ground and sort of creeps slowly into the cave so as to seem as unassuming as possible. Ember, do you want to do red TV?
Yeah.
Boss. You produce your minor illusion, and all can see red as it goes. And he travels in to where you see, perhaps to your surprise, um, a couple of things. The inside of the cave, you have to go a little bit in, maybe like 40 feet. But once you get within 40 feet, you do notice that, like, as tribal as it is, and sort of like country as it is, it's kind of a nice interior. It's spacious, but you see furs are hung along the walls. Not trophy, but like almost like drapes. Mostly like elk, really nice like white tail deer pelts. Like very nice pelts, just kind of hung along the wall, almost decorative. Um, the floor itself seems to have some kind of hide on it as well, probably to like cushion the ground. You do see that there are these like um, really somewhat shoddily made, but nonetheless made tables, stools. There is like clearly like a table for cleaning animals that's sort of like bloodied with like the implements you'd expect from someone who cleans prey. Um, and like little knickknacks and doodads that are kind of around, like stone-made weapons, more tools than weapons, really, like an axe for cutting down wood and so on. And as you get towards the back, you do see what looks to be like um, a rather muscular man who is sitting on furs on the ground. There's no bed, but it does seem to be like a loose earth sort of soft, kind of nice place. It is lit on the inside. There is like a central fire pit on the inside that seems to illuminate the interior. And he's sitting cross-legged there, but he's like big. He's stocky. He's got like big biceps. Like he's a built fellow. He's also very hairy. He's got like a nice layer. He's kind of like Superman Henry Cavill at the beginning of Man of Steel a little bit. He's got the straggly beard and kind of like the light hair across like muscle. He's got a little like a nice amount of like a healthy amount of fat on his body. And he's got leaning up against the wall is what looks to be like a really nice steel made mace that does have blood on it. And he is palming something in his hands. Red isn't able to get close enough to see what he's palming, but he's like sitting there, kind of like staring at this thing in his big man mitt. But he is a human, and he's just like staring at this thing contemplatively, like he's really thinking. That's what you all see. Red sort of like assimilates himself with the fire in the middle of the room to kind of make himself look like smoke from the fire. So he's pretty much inserted himself without any issue and will probably be able to remain there for a long period of time.
Know what we said, and I know how you feel, Drysrinn. I can't imagine how I would feel, but are we sure killing him's the answer?
In theory, removing the curse would be the answer.
Right. But I mean,
We don't have to start with that option.
here's
but we
my
do
thing.
have to end with it. Oh, sorry.
Here's my thing. He's close enough to town that he's not in the middle of nowhere, but no one comes this far out of their way, this far away from any road looking for anything good. Not to besmirch the honor of the dead, but is it possible that he came looking for a fight and got one? And that's what happened. And it's not that he was attacked. It's not anything vicious. It's just life.
I'm gonna flip back into Red's perspective, and from the fire,
Yeah.
my voice will ring out.
Okay, that's very cool of you. So he flips. So as you guys are kind of talking, maybe one or two of you notice maybe like Ember's lips, kind of like a X-Men 1.5, where Xavier's talking through Sabretooth. Maybe you see just Ember's lips just kind of moving. And meanwhile, in the cave, Ember, go right ahead.
Greetings.
The man looks around, startled, most certainly, and kind of stands up. His hand clasped around whatever he's holding. He's got like a bit of a, you know, and a posture, and he goes, "Oh, who's there?" He's kind of looking around the fire for the voice.
My name is Ember. I am seeking a fallen priest.
He like approaches the fire, kind of looks at it, and he goes, "Ember, is that a joke?" And he kind of walks a circle around the fire, like trying to figure out what exactly is happening. He goes, a priest. You come looking for
I
a
can
priest.
see and manifest through flame.
Are you a god?
Hardly.
Uh, well, that's good, I guess. I you you come for the priest. He said there would be others.
We found him.
He's uh
We have
so you
questions.
questions. You don't. Huh.
We don't
You don't.
mean to leap to judgment, but we would like to understand.
Huh. You said there would be others, but you said they would come with war. Uh, he kind of cautiously, like, actually sits at the fire. He'll say, "I, I met the man, this forester, at the edge of the river, and I expect you want to know how he died."
I do.
He came. He said he was called by his god, and he insisted on doing battle with me. I did not wish to, but he said that I would dishonor him to not fight my full power, and I admit my temper got the best of me, and I slew him. But he gave me his. He points to the back where the steel mace is, and says, "He gave me his weapon before he fell. He said I had earned it, and that others would come to finish what he started. I expect that's you. You come for revenge."
I come to understand.
Hmm.
Others may come for vengeance. You have chosen to live away from others in a place that's relatively obscure. The folks from the closest village are unaware and untroubled by you. There's no rumors or whatnot beyond this priest that has gone missing and has since been found. That speaks well to your behavior and control.
I He kind of looks at himself as if he reminds himself in this moment like what he looks like. And I goes, "Oh, yes. I I I have a temper. I get very angry, but I I try and stay away. Yeah, you. I would ask you a question.
Ask. It is only fair.
He said he's God sent. He said this storm lord sent. He gave me not only his mace, but he gave me this. And he opens and kind of tries to display it to the fire. You can see it now. It's a symbol of cord, and it is one made of like city made with metal. He says he gave me this before he died. I'm I I I don't understand why this god wants me dead. Well, I can hazard a guess, but I've never been attacked out here so intentionally before. He said he came from very far. Why? I want I want I want to understand this god.
Gods often create circumstances which are seemingly odd. I don't know the mind of God, specifically the mind of Cord, but it could be a case of him seeking to make himself known to you, and that this elderly, well, elderly for a a forester, he was not in the prime of shape. This could be a twofold mission. One, to bring the priest to you and to allow him to pass in a way that is of of triumph to the Storm Lord, who values strength. And it could be that in allowing this man an opportunity to pass in combat as opposed to from old age and infirmity, he has given him a better exit.
Mm.
And by bringing this man to you, perhaps it is an opportunity for him to bring somebody of strength into his purview. But that's supposition. I do not claim to know the will of Cord, but it would not be outside of my understanding of him. I've seen him cast lightning and scar a man, bringing him to the edge of death, allowing him to come back, leaving him marked not dissimilarly to that symbol that you hold.
He looks at the symbol. again, contemplatively.
How do you feel about your... I don't want to be misunderstood. I'm going to say the word affliction, but you may not view it as such. You may view it as a boon. I do not know.
You're a very polite fire.
Not all fires are. I'm sure you're aware.
I heard about one fire up in Vasselheim. No, he doesn't say that. No, he says, sorry, I couldn't help myself. He says, he goes, no, it's, I suppose it is not many people turn into bears. How did you... He kind of scratches his head. Did I tell you I turned into a bear?
No. We found the priest's body, and he had your marks upon his form when we laid him to rest.
You say we, are you many fires?
I am but one fire. I speak for a company that comes from the distant, though not too distant, city of Whitestone, who were seeking what became of this man.
I didn't know city people made talking fires. Very interesting. Anyway, my curse. You wanted to know of my affliction. No, I do. I have learned to live with it, and it has made me strong. He looks at the mark. He goes, this curse, it was given to me. I didn't want it at the time, but I understand the wisdom of why it was. I think. That person followed a god too.
I have two people in my company. One is a champion of this god cord who may be able to answer some questions that you have regarding him, and they would be interested to learn about the interaction that you had with the priest that gave you his mace and symbol. They are a valiant fighter and a tried and tempered combatant. I also have one who is a lore keeper, and I'm very sure that you would like to know about the story about your curse and how you were given it and what benefits that you have wrought from it if you would be willing to receive guests.
Make a persuasion check. You see the somewhat discomfort at the idea of receiving guests. Clearly a loner individual.
15.
15. He says, "You, your guests are polite as you are. Or maybe not. That's okay too. I just, sure. Yes. When do I receive these? How does this work? I've never received guests from a fire before."
We will approach the mouth of your cave in a few minutes, if you are
Okay.
willing to accept us.
Yes,
And
yes.
I can promise that for the next half day, that there will be no malice, no direct confrontation. I bring with me someone who would be willing to make that oath, and their oath is exceptionally binding.
Mm, okay. Okay. I haven't had
And
guests in a while.
I will be happy to provide food and drink
Mm, mm,
in
okay.
exchange for your story and acceptance of company.
Okay. Sure. Yeah. I'll meet there. Looks down. He goes, I'll meet you at the. Okay. Yes. Very well. Um, I'll see you soon. Uh, Ember. He kind of stands up and starts scrambling around, starts like kind of
And
fixing up the place.
and your name?
Oh, um, he blinks a couple times. I was called Ulric. I
Ulric.
suppose I still am called Ulric.
For this brief part of the day, it will be a pleasure to be your guest, Ulric.
Okay. Yeah, you too.
And Ember will exchange back out of red,
Red will just stay there. So why not?
and it, Ember will relay the bulk of that conversation. Um, we have we have an arrangement. I can understand where some folks, and he will look at Drysrinn, may feel a certain way about that, but it is an opportunity to understand, and I honestly, my my gut check is that he was sent here for the purpose as underwritten, meaning that Cord chose his method of exit for him, and in a way that brought additional strength potentially into Cord's domain. But I, as I told Ulrich, I don't understand the will of God. It is not my place. But considering that Cord once sucked Zarvog up in a tornado and damn near killed him to make his point, this would seemingly be in keeping with that.
Called
I was lured into mountains and found. So, yeah.
He's a very confrontational. I say this only as an observation. Is the way he relates to his people seems to be very confrontational. Very much a conversation of wills. It would appear, which I respect, honestly.
Hero's gonna look at Drysrinn and just look at you and go, "This explains so much of why you are the way you are."
So, shall we have a repast and a an exchange of story? I would assume that you would want to take that down, Yvain. That's as a lore keeper. That
Yeah,
might
of
be.
course. Very much so. And honestly, Drysrinn, you seem to be capable in medicine. I'm good in healing, but not so much in medicine if he allows it. Perhaps we should check him out and make sure he's okay.
Actually, Drysrinn, as we approach Ulric's cave, would you come with me at the at the at the forefront? Um, I'm capable of being recognized by name and dint, if nothing else. But
Hey, Ember,
yeah,
real quick. I know he's letting us come inside and all. Did you warn him about all the things we brought with us? Gesturing behind her towards the giant bear and the giant wolf and the dragon.
I haven't, but I said that I was accompanied by others, and one of which whose promise of non-violence would be upkept, and I will turn to Finch and say, I'm assuming that if there's an armistice, that you are willing to uphold that.
I can stay. I can stay out here with some of our larger friends. Not a big deal.
Yeah, I don't know that they're fitting in the cave anyway, if we're being completely honest. But
Absolutely. And, and,
I just mean if he comes out here to greet us.
Well,
oh, he's going to meet us at the mouth of the cave.
It'll be fine. It will be fine.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
Everyone in here has met bears and dragons and celestial wolves, and we are all still here.
Finch will say, because they're not here. Says, oh, I'm in Day of Challenging's coming up. I can't be having sympathies for, Stormlord people. So I'm gonna stay out here so as to not distract myself from the competition. Excuse, I don't know. If it's just like I gotta keep an eye on the wolf and the bear and the dragon, and I'm gonna pray to God. And yeah, good luck to all of you guys. Yeah, I've got to take the dragon in gymnastics, so I will see you guys soon.
Flight school, got it.
Flight school, exactly. That's what gymnastics is for dragons. Absolutely. Well, good luck. I will just wait right here for you guys.
To answer your question, Ember, you said he had a symbol of cord on him.
Yes.
I
One
will
that
bear
was
mine for some familiarity.
it's the lightning bolt. His was done in metal. It was obviously wrought. Um, isn't dissimilar from what I saw Zarbog carry. And based on the other tools that I've seen inside of his abode, clearly he did not make it. So, shall we?
Let's see where this brings us.
And as we head towards the cave, Ember will produce flame in his right hand. because
Okay.
that will serve as my introduction.
Uh, yeah, as you approach, all of you see this big, strong, tall, uh, sexy bearded man standing at the mouth of the cave. I can't get it out of my head, so I'm definitely imagining it's like, he's got his hand up there, holding the top of the mouth of the cave. He's like 7 feet tall, buff, and I can't get it out of my head. I think he's basically like a Henry Cavill. He's the Tal'Dorei Henry Cavill. That's what I should have named him. His name is Cavill or something. I don't know, but it's Ulfric, or Ulric, excuse me. And he's kind of standing there and sort of watches you all approach with not a scared eye, but certainly a uncertain eye. As you approach Ember with flame in your hand, um, you five, or yeah, you five approach. We'll say Beverly says like, I got to stick to my paladin. I don't know why not. You five approach. Um, he's like, you can see his eyes sort of dart around between all of you, a little cagey like, um, but he doesn't make any aggressive motion. He kind of sees you, Ember, with your flame, and he kind of.
And before we get terribly close, when there's enough distance for eye contact to be solid, Ember will just close his hand and snuff the produced flame out.
Hmm.
Greetings, Ulric.
Greetings. Um,
I am Ember.
he-
We have spoken previously. This
looks
is
you. Yeah. Go.
this is Drysrinn, champion of Cord.
He looks at you. Good. He's definitely looking at you all up. He's like constantly assessing each of you for a threat. But yeah, attention diverted to you, Drysdale. Knows. He looks a little nervous, like someone who's been caught with their hand in the cookie jar. So there's definitely like a little bit of a nervous there to interact with you. Kind of nods at you. Uh, um, did you know the warrior? Well,
No. The face I have, it is sometimes easy to recognize those with strength, feel a bond with them. I am not close to many, though.
he nods with the look of someone who's trying to understand. He was he was I think I understand. He followed the same god. I wish I could say I didn't mean to kill him, but I did. I
It sounds like he started it, as childish as it sounds. Do not feel shame for finishing or winning a fight.
I I don't feel ashamed, but I am. It was the strangest fight I've ever had. I've only ever fought to survive, or because my temper got the better of me. But I've never met someone who has traveled so far to kill me for a god, and then shown admiration when they were dying. I I don't understand what happened very well. I'm sorry, I have not had guests in a very long time. I was told that you wished for a place to stay. Please, I don't have much, but please, follow me. And he'll kind of turn around, his chiseled back, just fucking, and he will walk into the cave.
I'll follow.
As
Yeah.
will Yvain.
Invites you in. Yeah, and you guys all see what you've already seen before, which is the deer pelt lined walls and this main sort of central area for cooking and crafting and so on. He kind of gestures broadly and says, I've only carved not very well either, two stools, one for me and one for if that one broke, which happens. I don't have them for everybody. He'll take them out and kind of prop them around the fire if whoever wants them. They'll just kind of sit down at the edge of the flame. And I have meat I could cook.
Allow me to cook for you.
Okay.
But I'm happy to include your meat.
Okay. And he'll get up and he'll go into this little side passage between this main cavernous living area in his bedroom. And he comes back with like like in his hand, like stacked up in his hand a little bit, is like a whole bunch of pieces of like fucking steaks, like elk steak. And he has like in his other hand some other internal organ. I have liver too, if you want. I have I have yeah. he just gives them to you and sits down and kind of shuts
Well,
it.
while Ulric, I would also like to introduce you to Yvain Starborn, the lore keeper I spoke of.
Lord
Yvain will give him a little, just like the tiniest little inclination of her head. Yes.
This is Hero. Follower of Goldric. If you've been here in the wood for a period, I'm certain you may have heard of or heard Goldric.
I don't know anyone by the name of Goldric.
The Moon Wolf.
Giant? Yeah.
Oh, yes, no, yes, I've heard the call of the Moon Wolf. Yes, impressive. I'm very impressed.
And this is Tormata, Firekeeper.
Another fire. Pleasure. Host.
While you share the story of your curse with Yvain, and Drysrinn shares some about Cord, I will set to making a meal if that is okay.
Yes, please, sure. Yes. And he'll settle into telling you a story with a similar awkwardness. About that when he was young, he was taken in by this shaman woman. You know, shaman to be a very sort of wild word for druid. It says that he was left for dead. He doesn't know where exactly or by what village, but somewhere here in the Parchwood. He was raised by this woman. And when he grew older, the druid gave him the spirit of the bear, um, that he might use it. And he explains, like, I thought it was a punishment. I didn't know why she was punishing me. She cast me out immediately after, but I think I understand that it wasn't meant to be a curse. And he explains that, like, he understands a lot of what she said and how it's related to his life and how he is a part of this natural order that she would speak of often, that he never really understood, that he um like kills predators, and those predators allow the prey to flourish, and then he so much prey he kills prey, so he's become part of this territory, and he claims to be sort of the keeper of this territory within the parchment, that's sort of at the more northern portion of the river, and south of the mountains. He's claimed a portion of the forest as his territory as the apex predator. Um, and he doesn't know why she gave him the curse, if it was just to serve as part of the natural order or if there was something else. But he has kept away from villages so as not to scare them and not to harm them, and has ended off, you know, yeah. And he's just sort of joined the natural order, and he's also helped the villages here and there. So he's kind of starting to come around to the idea that this isn't a curse that he's been given. It was intentional, and it was for a good purpose. It wasn't a punishment. And that's kind of his story. This druid woman who raised him, gave him the power of the bear, and sent him off into the world.
I have some limited shape-shifting abilities myself.
You also have the animal spirit.
No, nothing so grand. Here, this might be easier. And she'll quickly shapeshift into kind of a lavender-colored raven with pink eyes.
You do so, and he looks at you very curiously, as he's probably never seen a bird of this particular hue. Yes. Oh.
I'll hop up over to him.
You speak?
Also a druid.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
Yeah. I'm also a druid. So.
He points at Happy. Is that a druid too?
No, he's a bunny. Actually, they're called an almirage. They're like Feywild, bunny-coded creatures.
Okay. And he looks at you with a look of someone who has no idea what you just said.
It's a marvelous place, very, very far. He's like a fancy bunny rabbit.
Fancy.
Yeah.
Okay. Sure. Very awkwardly kind of turns to Drysrinn, not sure how to continue, and just Drysrinn says, so, you, Cord is your god, this storm lord, this warrior god.
Yes.
He sent you to kill me.
I think he sent us to find you. Well, me. The first one came to kill you, yes.
Well, why? So why would he send you to find me?
Because the questions you would have after, the way you would need to know who he is, what he stands for, what you could stand for.
I could stand.
You already use the strength, the gift given to you to protect the surroundings, your territory, as you have claimed. If you being able to use your strength to protect others and things that are precious to this world is an honor. And I believe he wanted you to know of that.
He kind of thinks on that. And at this time, I'll say that, Ember, perhaps you are done cooking your meal. Now that some time has passed and there's been a moment here for Ulric to contemplate. What are you cooking, Ember? You've got the power of magic and fresh meat.
I'm I'm thinking something that is not particularly refined, but kind of rustic, simple. Uh, Potatoes. I'll make the steaks. Uh, you know, I'll we'll get him a nice jar and cover. He probably doesn't get a whole lot of spices, and conveniently, I have a spice pouch and doors. So, I'll add some root vegetables, some carrots and parsnips in combination, and simple.
Fair enough. Yeah, you make this, and Ulrich is definitely looking as contemplative as possible, but you guys can see him kind of like sniffing the air very intentionally, kind of like getting distracted from Yvain Drysrinn's stories here and there. It's just like looking at this meal that he's probably never smelt the like of before. Why don't you make me a check, Ember? Whatever skill you think would be fitting.
I think this is a performance check.
Okay, take advantage because you are proficient with the utensils.
Add a d6.
Ooh, it's gonna be the best damn meal you ever had, Bear.
Eh, 15.
15. Still very good. Like this is still gourmet. And you serve him this like perfectly cooked, juicy steak. He asks you because he goes like it's still red in the middle. It's still a little red. Is that are you sure?
Absolutely.
Oh, okay. Um, he eats it. And the werebear dies. He dies in joy and happiness. You can move on with your lives. No, he does not. No, he eats it, and you literally see like the eye, like the whole eye twitch, like he's getting the scalp rub or something. He just kind of,
He's a
wow,
really good cook, yeah?
uh, why, wow, yes, wow, huh, huh, huh. And he just, and then it speeds up, and then it really speeds up, and he just starts, just no, he starts to lose sense of table manners and the fact that there's even guests, and he expects you could probably just go over and like take a stool over the shoulder and walk out. He probably wouldn't notice until about 10 minutes from now. But he just like just gobbles it up happily as you're still passing food around. He simply cannot resist. And when it's done, he licks the plate. He definitely has like plates, but he like licks this one clean and just puts it down, blinks a couple times, and looks around as if he's just come out of like some kind of trance. That was like very Winnie the Pooh, like licking his fingers. He's like, that was incredible. Wow, you were, uh, he looks a little greedily at other people's plates. He's trying to be polite, but you can see the look on his face. Do you think that Ember may have made seconds?
Oh, I made enough gauging his size, so he would have enough to to satisfy himself.
All right, fantastic. A full dash in the Incredibles with a steak. It's just like happily munges, and all of you guys happily munge as well, as Ember has made a delightful and fittingly rustic meal. And you guys just kind of like, this is some pretty nice glamping right here. It's a nice furs to sit on, warm fire that holds the heat inside, away from the cold outside, and you guys will have like a nice meal and kind of settle into the night, we'll say. And I think that's a great time for a break, and we'll come back in about 15-ish minutes. If everyone's ready, and we'll continue with our game. Fantastic.
Perfect.
Indeed. Okay, so um, we come to the end of the meal. We will say you guys have talked and about the food, and the power of good food and good drink. It makes friends of everybody, and maybe have after a little bit of laughter, after a little bit of happiness, and like joy, full bellies. The night kind of maybe dies down back into a more relevant conversation if that's where people want to take it. Um, but it's really up to you how you want to spend the night. You are enthusiastically welcomed by Ulric after such an exceptional meal, and he's calmed down now. He's not quite as anxious and awkward and weird about you guys all being there after the meal. And he boisterously invites you all to stay for the night if you want. He doesn't have much, but what's his is yours to use as you need. Invites you all to got furs. He says, "I do, because I have many furs. If you need furs to sleep on, they're comfortable. I could lend you some furs, and yeah, feel free to stay the evening if you wish. Or, yeah, and yeah, he offers you his place. Is there anything you'd like to do, talk about, or maybe bed down in a warm, comfy werebear cave?"
While everyone is bedding down, because I'm assuming none of the oversized animals can fit inside the cave, or haven't attempted to try to, Kiro's gonna go outside and find wherever Galdric is, at just to see where he went.
Goldrick hasn't moved. He doesn't chill with the bear and the dragon. Like he's not there's a clear sort of lone wolf thing going on. All the other NPC creatures hate him for it, right? He's a little bit of a toxic player. No, I can't. But while Beverly and Finch are hanging out with Melosaurus and Trinket, Goldrick is close, isn't too far, but he's solitary. You're more than welcome to approach him.
I was gonna say I am gonna walk over to where he is and close enough that if we have close enough that nobody else can hear us but still trying to respect his space, she's just gonna kind of sit down with her back facing towards everybody else. And is gonna kind of look at him and say, I didn't tell you everything earlier. Mostly because I didn't think we had time, but also because it's a lot. And she'll kind of go through from everything that happened when Finch had her ascension, when Finch had their ascension, everything that Finch talked about with Bahamut, everything that happened with the assassin, everything that they found out so far about the end of the world. She just kind of relays to him as a kind of even if you knew, this is how much has happened. And then she'll kind of end it off with, he told Finch to find people to trust. and help the people that they trust find vestiges of the gods. Same gods that I'm assuming made you the companion to the first champion of the Raven Queen. I think that's how that goes. Whatever's coming, it ain't good. And if we're getting dragged into it, you might.
He was definitely like laying like this, like his head on the ground, doing that thing that dogs do, where they kind of like follow you with their eyes. But as you started to get into the detail, like the head definitely raised to more attention. Um, hmm. Goldrick kind of looks at you and hmm, give me a moment here. Um, Goldrick kind of like it's night now, it's dark. Kind of like looks up to the sky as if looking for some answer or something. It's not really for you. Kind of like looking up and around, and kind of huffs and stands up, his full height, and uh, his eyes glow for a moment, and your trident is going to appear without your will and lodge itself in the ground before you, Kira.
Uh, I'll stand up, or she'll stand up and kind of reach her hand out for it, and not grab it immediately, but just she's gonna grab it, but just like slowly, just in case something happens.
Okay, you reach for it slowly. You kind of looking at him as if something's going to happen, and he's just kind of staring at you. And it's the same sort of look Goldrick gives you. It's like look of, it's almost like wondering what you're going to do.
Um, I I'm gonna kind of grab it. I'm not gonna pull it out of the dirt yet. I'm just gonna kind of grab it and look at him and say, I get it now. I get why you do what you do. And I think I want to do the same thing. I think I get the lesson you were trying to teach me in the first place.
Goldrick sort of that sort of huff and a nod, which is the most like affirmative, like clear communication he's probably ever given. Um, and he is going to like pad over to you, and he is going to like lean into you, and the tip of his wet nose is going to touch your forehead. And as it does so, you're going to have a bit of a vision. You're going to see what was probably the crazy. A lot of crazy shit's happened right lately, so you decide for yourself if the craziest things are happening. But you see certainly the worst idea you have ever encountered, which was the searing channel. You view in your mind's eye it's your memory of the searing channel. It's a little bit like fast forward as the events of your transition of your attempting or the captain attempting the searing channel, and just like getting pulverized by razor sharp rocks and debris from smashed ships, and your ship adding itself to the graveyard and you being plunged into the water. But the difference is this time, as you're plunged into the water, everything slows down. And as you're looking through the water's surface up to the sky, you see the sun very rapidly go away, and replacing it is the moon. It's a crescent moon, but that moon very rapidly like makes itself full and bright, like a harvest moon, basically, like a full moon. And you're sinking, and as this light from the full moon is there, there's a bit of a silvery light at the edge of your eyes as well, and you like turn and you look down and you see at the bottom of the searing channel, past the sharp rocks, past the graveyard of ships, deep beneath the searing channel, as if the tide itself is flowing around it. You see the shape of a moonlit silver trident, bottom of the searing channel. You come back out, and Goldrick is still like isn't touching your head anymore, but it's still low on your eye levels, of very pointedly like looking in your eyes to make sure you saw what he was. Your silence spell is most powerful as he looks into your eyes. You gotta turn off emotions. Sorry, that's translation. That's their silence spell here. Sorry.
No, she'll kind of look while looking into his eyes, just say, "All right." Somehow, I'm not surprised, but we do what we gotta do.
Goldrick stands up tall, seemingly satisfied with your answer, and turns the brush and walks away slow at first, and then takes to his sprint, his silent sprint into the wood to go continue his defense of the Parchwood timberland. Now that his job here is complete.
She'll kind of, well, she'll, if her trident's still there, she's gonna take her hand off of it and just trying to test and like see if it's still there. She's gonna will it to disappear.
And it does.
Okay. Honey, steering channel. And
Wouldn't
then
be any
she'll
fun if it was easy.
and then she'll turn around and walk back towards where everyone else is resting. And she'll just kind of, for now, she'll keep it to herself just to kind of think over and digest everything. And she's not going to say anything. And she's just going to kind of go to bed with everyone else.
Fair enough. Okay. Drysrinn. Post meal, belly full. The werebear seems a little bit more chill now. Still a solitary creature. He kind of like takes care of people's beds and then goes and minds himself while everybody's going down to bed. Is there anything else that you would approach him about for his your connection to this strange religious connection you have to this individual?
I actually think she'd like to ask him about his feelings on the fight, on and all the events after, like him getting the mace, like how that felt to him, just so she can help process that for him.
Yeah, he got to me, ask him these things. He says, weird. Just really weird. Like I said, I've never fought someone and been rewarded by them uh, when they were know they were going to die. He faced his death with courage. Yes, courage. And then he gave it to me. Just never experienced something like that. Like he was glad for the battle, even though he was going to die.
He fought his hardest. That is what he should be proud of. What he died being proud of. It was honorable. And, as the one to defeat him, you earned those things. Of course, he probably knew Cord had his eyes on you, which can be difficult and a trial amongst itself.
You you keep what you kill in your religion.
Sometimes. If there's honor in it. I've had to fight sometimes when there was no honor, no glory, nothing to be proud of about it. Either way, I fought. Used my strength to protect those who couldn't. It's nice sometimes.
It's been a very long, strange day.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of firsts. Can I ask you why you seem to me what was described as a dragon, but different?
Yes.
I was told that they were as big as trees and walked on all fours.
I've never really seen a full dragon. But even the young ones are ginormous, just big, and as fun as it would be to fight one, it'd be scary and stupid to do it alone, for sure.
But that would be as stupid as it is. It would be considered honorable in your religion.
Yes, to challenge it, to accept that even if you die, you fought hard with your life, especially, and this is not for everyone, this is in my heart, when it is to save those who are weaker and to protect those who have no strength at all. That's it.
I I think I like this Storm Lord of yours. He's got a cool name. And
Stormlord, the Stormbringer. He is thunderous in all of his titles.
But he protects. He protects people.
He gives us the strength to do so ourselves. I've not known him to blatantly interfere with the lives of us, but he does give us the power to do so.
And what is it you think he wants of you?
I haven't quite figured all of that out yet. I do think you have all of this to protect, and we've heard strange things have been happening, undead even. But I'm sure he'll send like a storm after you or like hit you with lightning or so. He's not fun about it when he chooses you. I'm not gonna lie. It's not fun.
Uh, well, I guess fighting isn't meant to be fun.
No.
I guess. But if you're going to do it, I just want to do it for, I guess, to help someone out. Huh. So you want me to stop piddling around in the woods and do something more important? Is a way of better.
Yeah, probably.
I imagine you and your friends have suggestions.
Yeah. Um,
Oh, okay.
if you'd like, we can talk about that in the morning
Yeah,
with
in the
everybody.
morning. Sure. That sounds fun. In the morning.
Great. I'm
Great.
gonna go pass out. Good night.
Uh, good night. Um, yeah. And is there anything else anyone wants to do tonight before passing out? Belly full of elk. You guys all get some sleep. You find yourself in the safety of the cave of the apex predator of this particular mountaintop that is currently surrounded by strange predators. So, such as dragons and armored bears, you know, and other bears. And yeah, you'll all wake up. Um, sun will shine. You woke up comfortably warmer than you'd ever probably have camped, and it's uh, yeah, it's good. And things seem to be pretty good. As you wake up, you'll see that Ulric was already up, maybe kind of stepping over some of you a little bit to get around his place, kind of making you all stir. Um, and he's packing a bag. You all wake up. He, you all wake up, have some food. He says, um, so apparently a god wants me to do something else than be in a be in a cave. I I don't know where to go.
May I make a recommendation?
Oh, sure.
Drysrinn, you may recall Master Cleave sent you to Vasselheim.
Yes.
Oftentimes, when dealing, and she'll turn back to Ulric. Oftentimes, when there are questions about what to do with a god, it can be easier, honestly, just to go on a pilgrimage and sort of ask. So, since Drysrinn needs to go to his main temple, perhaps you could accompany?
Uh, sure. Um, sure. Where if you think that's best, I've never done a pilgrimage. Where, what's Vasselheim? How far is that? For which direction do I need to?
You know something? Don't even worry about it. Just stay with us for a while. We're going in that direction anyway. Just come with us.
Okay. Sure.
You really want to know?
Uh, yes.
Ember will minor illusions a map because he has them. You are about here. Vesselheim is way over there.
Uh, After a couple of moments, you guys explain to him what this is. That he's like, because this is a map. You know, okay, what do you mean we're here? And you're like, well, this is really where we are. Like, okay, well,
Well, I'll start with, this
yeah.
is the little
Oh, do
village
you
by
do
the
the Google
water.
Maps thing?
Yes.
He's like, whoa! Look at that. He's like, his mind is blown. You give it, you Google Maps it for him, and he is wowed. He is very much wowed as you show him what that is. He goes, that's really far. I don't know how much of a swimmer I am.
Uh,
I'm pretty
no,
good, but
we're going to teleport, dear.
teleport? What's teleport?
Magic.
Magic. Oh,
When we
okay.
go, it'll take about 6 seconds.
We're gonna go from here to Vasselheim in 6 seconds.
Not from here, but from where we get to the place that we will be traveling from, which is not here. But when we get to there, it will be 6 seconds.
Wow, that's really fast. You're
It's
very fast.
We're grateful. Otherwise, it is indeed a very long swim.
Uh, he's like nervous. He's like, okay, okay. Um, 6 seconds. I hope I do well. Okay, great. I'll just follow you to know what you're doing.
All right. So, fishing villages next, or should we head back to Whitestone now?
In the
I
interest of transparency,
Uh,
there
yeah.
is something that I've got to tell all of you that happened last night. Is everyone here? Like Finch, Beverly, like everybody. Is
Yeah,
Kira's only got it in her to go over this story once.
we'll say everybody's present, sure.
So I told Galdric about the whole Finch Bahamut thing. Good news is he helped. Bad news is found a vestige.
A good
That's not the
vestige or
bad
a bad
news.
vestige?
Good one.
Oh,
Decidedly
excellent.
good one. Bad news. It is at the bottom of the Searing Channel.
Is that the place Shoko's always talking about? That like he went through there because a kraken was chasing him, and it's like the worst place in the world ever to go sailing. Is it that place?
It is also the channel that I went through on a boat unwillingly, that Galdric kind of pulled me out of, and I'm almost sure brought me back to life because I'm not quite sure that I lived through that, but it is the place that he fished me out of.
Huh. Yeah, sounds about right.
So I guess in me asking yesterday about what we do from here, about what the greater mission looks like, that would be it. Bad news, I have no idea how we're even going to get close enough to the part of the Siri channel that it's in, let alone to it.
Well, so that we know, that's probably not what we're doing right this moment. Yeah.
No.
Right this moment, we're either going to go back to Whitestone or we're going to go to a fishing village. I imagine we'll start making those decisions when we get back to Imon, perhaps.
Well, then that's the question. Well, that's the question that I am posing to the group. Again, I have no idea how it would even be accomplished, but we are about as close to that vestige as I can imagine us being in the next 6 weeks.
I will
Maybe
put forth
8.
as a note, Hero. Are you proficient with Seviums?
With
It would be
what?
under tools. I'll go take a look. Oh, you got
Oh,
navigator's tools. I'll give it to you anyway.
yeah.
Make me a make me either a nature or survival check with advantage. El Capitan.
Okay. Oh gosh. Listen, it was never her job to pilot. It was never her job to steer. Nat 20.
Nat 20.
Maybe it was her job to steer. Never mind.
Uh, you are a really good swimmer by the grace of you literally like physically consisting of water. Like you are literally like so one with water. But even with all of that in mind, the currents in the steering channel are deadly. That is not something you want to attempt as singular individuals, magic or otherwise, especially with this rumor of a kraken these days. You're going to need a ship, and you're going to need the best crew you can find. You want to go down to the bottom of the steering channel? You're going to need one hell of a navigator, and you're going to need one hell of a sailor. If only you knew such a person or
Main appointed.
persons.
If only. All right, so I mean, we could go to the fish. I don't know why. I couldn't explain it to you. It feels like a folk tale, or it feels like a scary story that they came up with to tell the kids. And like I said, I don't know what is going on in that fishing village, but something tells me that it's nothing serious.
Well, and it's not to say we can't come back and check it out later, but we do have significant things to report, and we do have some actionable items. What do you think, Ember?
I think if we're asking Ulric to undertake a lengthy journey, granted it'll be quick in parts, uh, we're probably better served by doing that expeditiously. Um, and like you said, if needs be, we can return to see what the dealio is with that. I mean, it may be almost anything from something mundane to something significantly less benign, but um, I think having dealt with the zombie giant, passing that information along, getting Ulrich to someplace where he can get answers and direction. And the answers and direction may have him come back because it may be to have an additional presence here in the Parchwood. That wouldn't necessarily be shocking or that unusual, I don't believe.
He will say, I'll go where you think is best. He definitely like steers the eyes towards you, Drysrinn. He definitely thinks you sort of the authority on what the Stormlord would want of him. So he kind of is like, it's broadly to the group, but there's definitely a direction at you. He's like, if you think you know a path that's best, whatever you think is the Stormlord would want.
To be real, you kind of never know for sure what any god wants. You
Oh,
do your best.
he will
But
say, yeah, go ahead.
but these people are smart. And I've trusted them admittedly for a shorter time. But I'm still alive. And we're doing important things. I trust their opinion.
Okay. Then whoever thinks they know, whoever whoever here thinks they know what the Stormlord wants me to do best, I'll do that, I guess.
Well, I think Whitestone is where we need to go next.
Speaking of which, Ember, could you put the map up again, please?
Sure.
Could you put up a perspective of where we are in comparison to Whitestone?
Give me just a second. Okay.
How do you do that? That's crazy. Um, uh, with that and the power of Trinket Snoot, um, you guys think, you guys got two options. You could either make it a day journey back to Whitestone, would be a little bit swifter than your previous journey. If you really hoofed it though, so it would be either you could get there probably by the end of the day today if you really hooked it. But yes,
What about if we had a giant flying dinosaur to help with to expedite the travel?
If you had everybody on wings, that would certainly speed things up, depending on the wings, of course.
Um,
I have teleportation circle.
do you know the sigil for Whitestone?
Yes.
Oh, that's much better. That's much better than flying. It's much faster.
Would you like me
All
to
right,
cast
well,
it?
would you please? That sounds perfect. Yes, no, wonderful. Yes, and thank you for not letting us. I don't mind flying, but honestly, it is a bit exhausting.
Okay. He says it's going to take me about 2 minutes. One to clear the area off, and then one to lay out the inks, the chalk. Well,
Take your take your time.
Okay.
Better than anything I can do.
Okay, yeah, easy enough. I mean, this cave is a perfect place to make it. Like, it's spacious. Like, this is a big ass cave. Wouldn't it be so funny if you took this guy on this whole adventure? He's like, nah, jokes. I'm not the werebear. I'm not the werebear. I'm the werebear's brother. No, I'm kidding. You guys, yeah, you take out your chalk. So mark off the chalk component from your inventory, but you can certainly mark down the sigil sequence of what I assume to be the teleportation circle connected to the Everlights temple.
Yes.
Yeah. So you sketch it down, takes about a minute, and you kind of leave that last line to be filled in and make sure everybody's ready to go. Ulric kind of looks around his cavern kind of one last time that he's lived in all most of his life. And kind of just picks up the mace and fastens that onto a leather strap and puts the Stormlord thing around his neck and covers himself in elk pelts, and he's got his bag, and he kind of yeah, well, all right. And you take that last mark, and what explosion of magical light files up into the air. Ulric's like, holy fuck. And presumably you all jump in. Trinket immediately runs at it. He's seen a teleportation circle before. Melisaris is very smart, takes Finch and Beverly through. And you guys are all going to Scooby-Doo land out of your teleportation circle. In Whitestone, who needs to be out here when you could be over there? And I've already got the image of Whitestone up on Roll20. Fantastic. I gotta end up making a Whitestone instead. Let's see here. Where are you? Oh, Alabaster Seal. You appear back in the glorious Whitestone. You see the grand tree, the beautiful village, and as you emerge from the temple, Ulric is uh, not sure exactly what he's looking at to be sure. He looks at the tree, gives it like a nod, as if to be like nice. But the rest of it, he doesn't get. He's just like, it's not even like he's impressed. He's just not understanding what his eyes are telling him. This is horrible. What is this?
Have you never been in a city?
No.
You're going to hate it. It's I'm sorry.
It's hot, it's stuffy, it's smelly.
I'm sorry.
He looks at you, Drysrinn, and he says, gods are rarely comfortable people. That's what you said, right? They don't make you comfortable, right?
No,
Okay.
especially not ours. The more discomfort we're in, I honestly think he enjoys it.
Oh. Oh. Well, I don't know what other gods are out there, but maybe we could have picked a better one. Or a better one could have picked me, or I don't know. I guess we'll find. Okay. Now what? What do I do now?
Just follow along with us. To the castle, I assume. I'm sure. Well, probably to the bakery, I imagine. Trinket will want payment for his services.
Trinket gives you a firm nod.
Let us go pay our bear.
All right. And so you do so. You guys go to the Slayer's Take, and you all the way there is like, you see him rubbing his nose as he goes, definitely. Kind of not used to all the smells. It seems almost like genuinely like upset by them, like just kind of like genuinely discomforted, physically discomforted by it. And then he kind of stops, as you get close to the Slayer's Take, and then he starts to float through the air as he follows this little stream of steam all the way. The Slayer's Take. He doesn't do that, but basically he kind of like follows you all in. His eyes go wide, and he's finding the diamond in the rough right now as you guys headed to the Slayer's Cake, with all the cakes and pastries and whatnot. How much do you want to purchase? What do you want to purchase?
Well, clearly we're getting trinkets.
Of course.
And
yeah.
Ulric should get a bear claw also.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. Oh, he goes, I'll have a bear claw. He goes, okay. Yeah, no, I'll give you your bear claw. That'll be 2 copper for the new customer.
No, we've got it all, don't worry.
Okay.
I imagine we're going to take a whole bunch of them back to the castle, yeah?
Sure.
I'll just take a big ass box.
Absolutely. And he's watching the whole transaction just curiously, like, oh, it is. Like as you're like giving him little shiny discs and something. And then he starts putting all this food in there, and he's like, got his face on the glass. This is so much food. This is just it's so strange. And he hands the box to you, Yve, and he's like watching him handle it. He's like, why? He's just like completely perplexed by the entire transaction, and doesn't get why there's so much food and why it smells so good, and why he's looking at the guy who's like almost offended at the guy he's just this like bakery worker, right? He's a baker. He's not like an in shape guy at all. Yeah. He goes, what is how do you find how do you make such these foods? Where do they grow? The guy's like, I don't grow anything, sir. I just bake them in the back. Just here, and he's like he thinks he's just struck gold. He's like trying desperate. He's like, but here you make pastry. You make them here, and he goes, yeah. I could show you if you really want. Yes. No, please. He like clamors over.
No. No.
Wait,
No.
We have time. We've a little time for him to see. It's his first time in a
It's hard for him to take a look.
Okay, but like, we have to explain the concept of baking now. You
And
understand that?
No, we don't.
I can handle it.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
we got it.
Okay, I'm sorry. I never.
No. You're
Take your time.
experiencing new things. Enjoy. And I assume that he and Ember are going to get a quick little tour of the bakery.
And
I've had the tour of the bakery.
yeah, you've had the tour of the bakery, and he takes Ulric back, and like this isn't totally fun for Ulric. This is more like I need to learn this desperately for the next time I'm in the woods. So like this is a matter of survival and like good and evil for him. And he's like he goes, well, okay, well, where does the grain come from? He goes, we grow the grain. He goes, so you take, he's like holding a stalk of grain. He goes, this becomes this. He goes, yeah, if this becomes this. He goes, yes, sir. Yes, it does. They take it to the mill. He goes, where's a mill? There's a mill. What's a mill? Yeah, go ahead.
Ulric,
Yeah.
there are people who have farms. Those farmers, people who have farms, grow these grains like grass, like a meadow, but of these plants. And in the fall, they gather these all up, sometimes in the spring, but mostly the fall. And they take them to a place where they gather them all together and they separate, and Ember will roll out one of the grains, one of these little tiny seeds. And there are many of them, as you can see, along here. And they will put them between a pair of rocks that are specifically shaped. And they will grind them, kind of like, have you ever made bone meal? By grinding a bone?
Yes.
Same idea. But
Okay.
they make a meal out of that. And then they take I saw that you had a couple of baskets in your cave.
Yeah,
Well,
yes.
they take a basket that's very finely woven together, and they paste that meal in there and they shake it. And then the very tiny bits separate out from the coarser, rougher stuff.
Okay.
And that's what this man, with other ingredients, much like I did with dinner last night, turn it into this or that. It's a learned skill, much like you learning which parts of an animal are useful and how they're useful.
Okay. All right. Okay. Will you bake bread with me sometime so I could see the bread bake? Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay. Thank you.
If my supposition is correct, and it may not be, if Cord's goal for you is to return to the Parchwood and be its protector and champion, if that's the case, I'm going to make a suggestion
Oh,
that you continue to hunt as you always have. But perhaps rather than just what you need, you get one extra and you could bring it to one of the fishing villages along the river and they could exchange this flour for your meat.
oh, oh. Ulric, new skill learning. Trade. Yes. Oh, oh, okay. That sounds easier than the whole thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Now, we don't have lots of meat, but I had some silver coins, and silver has value amongst people, and that's a medium by which we can exchange things.
Oh, okay.
I can give silver to this man, and he can buy more flour, or he can buy meat if he needs meat. In
Huh.
your case, you don't have silver, but you have meat. So you'll exchange meat for flour.
Oh, okay.
And if you need to come back here, I will happily help make that negotiation for you.
Okay. 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 He nods very confidently, and he turns to the proprietor of the Slayer's Cake. I ended up getting his name in this moment. But he is a little in the corner, like the big imposing man who had to back into a corner and try to teach him how to bake. Ulric goes into his bag and just pulls out like a bloody slab of meat out of some hide and like drops it in his hand. Very proud of himself. And the man just pulls me. I'm gonna go get you some. Um,
A
I'm gonna go
pie.
get you some. Yeah, I'm gonna go get you a pie. He's like nodding at Ember as he's following. I'm gonna go get you a pie now. Thank you for this. I'll thank you. Good trade. And he goes, good trade. Good trade. And the guy will walk away. He'll come back with a pie, give it to Ulric, and Ulric looks like he's figured out how to make gold. he's, he's looking at you, Ember, like, oh, wow. He's just like losing it. And he walks out and like displays it to you, Drysrinn. He's like, look, meat for trading meat for pie.
Meat for pie. Okay.
Yeah, with the storm lord would be happy.
You got your pie. Where shall we go?
Okay, hey, I got a pie. Never had a pie. What's the? Yeah, and yeah, by now you guys have all got your food. Enjoyed the interaction. The guy's not offended. He gets that the gentleman was a little overly excited. He's like, yeah, no harm, no foul, whatever. I got a steak tonight. Like, great. And you guys leave with your bag of goodies, and Ulrich is just hands scoop into the pie, blueberry pie, of course, and he's just oh oh, he's just like, there's a oh so it's so hot, and it's like offering handfuls of blueberry pie to each. You go, you want pie? And he's so happy. Everything's great. Ulric's happy again.
And
I love Ulric.
We will walk on up to the castle.
Yeah.
This should be
Yeah.
entertaining. Fortunately, we're going back with Trinket, so
Yeah. Who definitely takes pie from Ulric. And eats it, and Ulric kind of nods at Trinket. Trinket's like, and they seem to have a little language of their own. And yeah, you make your way back up. He's like got his face covered, stained in blueberry as he looks up at the clock tower. What the fuck? Gosh, all right. He just keeps going. And you guys make your way up to the castle without issue. And oh man, I want to do this, man. Okay, we're gonna fly by the seat of our pants here a little bit. Okay, fuck it. There is a bit of a commotion going on up here at the castle. You see the Pale Guard isn't at their normal whatever station. There's some movement. There seems to be something going on around here. And as you enter into the main courtyard, you are going to see the white-haired, spectacle-laden Lord Percival De Rolo. But he has a pretty fucking big gun slung over his shoulder. And he is talking with, like, severity and with haste the Pale Guard, and people are coming in and falling in line, and like something of a military nature is going on here, and it's not a drill.
I'll wait for a pause, and when there is one, Lord De Rolo, is there something that we can do?
Lord Percival turns in all of your direction. I'll drop the mini because we love to look at the mini. And he says, "Oh, Aurora Concordant, it's good that you're here." And he says, "Gwendolyn, she's disappeared into the dungeons of Castle Whitestone. I'm rallying the Pale Guard to get her, but I could use your help finding her."
Of course.
It was excellent. And he says Pale Guard, and he starts. Sorry, he says the Pale Guard. He like gives them all a gesture, and this like search party of riflemen follow him, and just sort of gestures for you all to follow as well. And with some haste, there's speed to his walk as he walks with purpose to go. He'll invite you walk with him, and as you all do so, the Pale Guard behind you, he's going to say, "It's not like Gwendolyn. She took something. She took out an invention of mine and disappeared down into the dungeons. She knows it's dangerous down there. She would never go down there." And he sort of scoffs. He says, "Lady Vex'ahlia has already entered the dungeons in hunt for her, and I will require all of your help to find her as well, if you'd be willing."
Of course, however we can be of service.
Very well. He's going to take you all to the basement, and he is going to... Let me change the music here a little bit, because we're a little too happy. I'm going to turn that down a little too here.
I am capable of...
Yeah, go ahead.
Lord Percy, I can do some limited divination.
This is whatever you can do to help. All skills and talents will be welcome. He walks over to this gate where a couple of riflemen are standing. He says, "Any word from Lady Vex'ahlia or Gwendolyn?" And they say, "Not yet, Lord Percival." And he just nods at them, and he turns around and he says, "Pale Guard, you're with me." And he says, "Aurora Concordant, you take the northern passages. Divide and hopefully find her wherever she's gone." All right, so let's move out. And he will take his pistol out as well, and will sort of sling his gun over his back. And you guys will walk into like these dungeons. You make your way down into the lower levels, and these like iron wrought rail dungeons, dungeon grates have been established, and you enter into this like dilapidated portion of the castle that looks like it hasn't seen passage until just recently, or perhaps decades. Clearly, perhaps from a time of a darker past in Whitestone. But you descend down into these passages and are left to hunt down little Gwendolyn.
May I roll my portent for the day?
You most certainly could.
All right, that's an 8. So wheel, huzzah. And then also, as Yvain will get close to Ulric, and as they start walking in, she will explain that Gwendolyn is a small, precocious child who is lost in what we think is a dangerous dungeon. And this is her father, and we are trying to find her. Just because he would not have known what any of the names are.
Sure. Yeah, of course.
Actually, on our walk there, when we're still with Percy,
yeah,
do you have anything of hers with you?
He nods, and he will produce her little owl bear stuffed animal.
Ulfric, how keen is your sense of smell?
He like backhand wipes as much blueberry from out from under his nose and kind of like, frankly, like snot rockets a little bit off to the side. And it goes, it is very sensitive. I can track with it.
Can you remember this scent?
He'll take it and kind of nods at you, returns it to Percival, and kind of as it's got a little blueberry on it now. Who the devil is this?
He's a companion we met while handling some of the problems in the Parchwood. We'll introduce you once we've found Gwendolyn.
Percival just nods, seeming to trust your judgments, and in the moment's tension being more important, he goes, very well. Good luck, and, well, good luck. And you say, all right, Pelgard, with me. And he will begin to walk down and away with the guard behind him to start looking through this seemingly massive dungeon scape.
Okay. Onward, forward, charge.
Onward, forward, charge. Roll a little perception check for the nose of the great werebear. He sort of sniffs around, kind of nods, starts taking you down the passages. Says, what is this place? He's looking around at all the iron chains and bars and prison cells scattered around.
It is a remnant of an unpleasant past.
All right. Sure. All right.
Is this place well lit, or do we need our own light?
It's a very good point. It is brightly lit, like right at the door there, but yeah, it definitely begins to dim into darkness.
I know that most of us can see in the dark, but I'll go ahead and touch the crystal ball that's in the staff's mouth and cast light.
Okay, fair enough. Sort of tap the end of your staff and light emerges, very Gandalf style. And you guys begin to make your way through. All right. Oh, God. Let's see here. Where are Uh,
I really want to ask Ulric a question, but I'm pretty sure Tomato would not know anything about it.
what's the question?
His rage is a berserker. But I'm pretty sure Tomato would not know anything like that.
Hey man, you're pretty well traveled. Tell you what, why don't you roll me a history check? See if you do.
That's an 8. Nope.
Nate, you know, barbarians are considered warriors of rage, but more than that, you
Okay. Well, then that would at least give me the leeway to. Oh, Rick, I have
yeah,
a question.
yes, yeah.
You've mentioned your temper before. Can you control it rather easily, or is it something that controls you?
I, I don't like to admit it, but yes, it's something I lose control of. I get rather, I, I just see, it's like it's like there's blood in my eyes, and I can't control what happens much next.
So you have a hard time picking friend from foe?
I don't have friends, so
Right.
but I don't, I, I battle what needs battling when it happens.
Okay. I'll make sure I'm at the back of the party then.
Yeah, you just back off at that point. He's like, oh, you like notes the.
No offense. I don't. I've heard of berserkers who. That's why I asked if you're one of those that has a hard time separating friend from foes.
It's not every time I fight. It's not every time. It just I could fight without losing my temper, but I but if I'm really frustrated by the fight, if it's a particularly difficult fight, you know, if I get angry, then, but I don't always angry.
Well, I won't take offense if you attack me, as long as you don't take offense that I burn you to a crisp when you do so. We're gonna be good.
Uh, I think that's fair.
All right.
I think
Sounds great.
I think, yeah, okay. Kind of nods like, yeah, can't argue. I can't argue with the logic.
And if we didn't make that clear enough before, we may not have known each other long enough to be friends yet, but you are far from having no one. Trust me, they stick on. They don't ever leave.
Oh. Kind of has this like, oh, go ahead.
We have to fight together.
We do?
Well, wouldn't it be fun?
Sure. Never had fun fighting before.
You should try it.
Okay, yeah, I'll try.
It means I have your back.
What's wrong with it?
Another way to put it, I will be on guard for the things that could sneak up behind you in a fight.
Oh, I like that. That's smart.
Yes. Anyway, we're tracking.
Right.
Yes.
Sorry. Yes, I'm smelling. And he keeps going. You're traveling. It's dark. It's crummy down here. There are these you feel these movements in the earth a little bit. there is this moment where there's this like it's gentle, nothing that makes you stagger. You feel like this gentle movement under the earth a little bit, almost like something's going on, and something the earth shakes a little bit under your feet. You don't know if it's something to do with the strange cavernous prison you find yourself in, or something else. Um, but you travel. Let's see here. Uh, I've been wanting to do this. I admit I'm slightly unprepared for it. Um, it's dark, and it's these caves and caverns. You're walking by. You maybe see a skeleton in one with chains over its head. You keep going. You follow him as he moves. There's a point where he stops. And he sniffs the air and he goes, there's other smells. Uh, there's it smells like lavender and and grass. Someone smells like a woman. And then there's something else. There's something wrong. The wrong. I don't know what it is. It's wrong. There's a wrong smell. It's like dirt, and I've never smelled anything like it.
We're on the right track then.
Oh, great.
Should,
Yeah.
should we let Red scout ahead?
Red doesn't have a nose.
Ah, yeah.
If we get much closer, perhaps, but I think speed and exigency mean we let the nose take the lead. Uh,
We
we
have the ability to cast Arcane Eye. It'll last for an hour and send it, 100 feet or so ahead of our sniffer. If nobody knows what that is, it's basically an eye that allows me to see through it.
Whatever it is, be ready regardless. Because I just feel like this is going to go off the rails somehow. As far as tracking it, look, this thing's going to get tipped off however far away we are anyway. We're not quiet and we're not subtle. Sending something ahead gives us the benefit of seeing what it is. It also gives it the benefit of prepping and waiting for us.
Depending on if it knows we're coming.
it's gonna know.
Once we get close enough, it's gonna know either way. It's
We're-
just about how much.
Well,
Our
as far as my eye, my Arcane Eye, unless it can see the invisible, it won't see it.
as long as it can keep a pace, expend the
It moves as
resources
fast- Moves
as
as
you
fast
like.
as we do. Yeah.
But I think we're best served by speed as opposed to care and caution.
If we can get a heads up as to a choke point, a doorway, if there's any place where we could be corralled and hit in a group as we approach things, that would be very useful to know if your eye can give us a bit of a heads up on that point.
Yeah. So he'll cast Arcane Eye.
Okay.
For you guys, you don't see anything. He pulls out he reaches into a component pouch and pulls out a piece of bat fur, rubs it, draws an eye symbol. You hear a pop, and that's it. And he says, and then you hear him counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, it's about 100 feet of us.
If we before everybody sets off, Kiro is going to kind of I don't know how cramped is the space that we're in? Like, is it we can only pass one person at a time, or or is the hallway wider?
It is. I mean, out of combat, you can pass whoever you want, but these are 5 foot hallways.
Knowing that, Hero is gonna kind of push herself up so she's the second in line. Uh, just so that whatever happens, if stuff does pop
Yeah,
off.
I'll tell you what. It's a good point. Let's establish a marching order. Always a good point. So we got second in line for Kiro. We've got a bear at the front. Okay. So let me put the bear out there. Hang on. Hold for bear in human
So,
form.
what I will say to Ulric is, as we get to intersections and stuff, I'll tell you ahead of time, but then you'll have to tell me which direction to go based on how strong the smell is.
He nods at you and will do so. Absolutely.
And then I think it'd probably be smart if I go second to last. That way I have the hand on whoever's in front of me, and somebody can behind me make sure I don't fall behind. So I'm technically walking blind with you guys while I'm looking through this thing.
Cool. All right, we got Ulric at front.
That's the way I interpret how it works, right? Because you mentally receive the visual information.
We got a couple people that do that.
Yeah, does it say that you're blinded while you do it?
No.
Then you should
It
be
just
good.
says you mentally receive the visual information.
Yeah, so I would say you see it within your mind's eye, and your eyeballs work the same in well as well. We got Kiro, who
If I could be third?
yeah, of course, yeah, you're third. We're gonna say our glorious paladins upstairs because they're not here. Let's see who else. Termata, you want to be second to last still?
Yeah, I think that would be the smartest, just because if something happens, I'm
Got it.
not left behind.
Fair enough.
Yvain can
What
walk
else?
in front of him. She's accustomed to being a seeing eye druid.
Fair enough. Termata's able to see now, but
Oh,
Termata,
right,
you have a
that's
moment of
right.
I'm okay. Maybe first time using the spell. Ember, you want to be in the middle and the back?
I'll park me in the middle. That's fine.
Okay.
I mean, if we're worried about my light giving way, then I can douse the light and put my dragon mask on.
No. No.
Well, it's probably helpful for Ulric because he can't see in the dark. He can spell really damn good, but and I think that'll do. I don't imagine we're going to. I'll throw Finch in there. Finch is covering the rear. Gonna make sure everybody's safe. Beverly behind with her glowing silver spear. There we go. There it is. Melisaurus is a little big for these tunnels, so Melisaurus is going to sit this one out. You go. You're winding your passages. There's a point where you come to an intersection, and Ulric is like, you can tell, like he's whatever he's smelling, it's discomforting. He goes, it smells like, it just smells like yeah. It smells almost like when I'm too angry to see, but not quite. And then there's that horrible smell again. He looks left and right. He says, the blind, angry smell and the woman smell is coming from over there. Points at one of the doors, and then he points at the door, another door, and he says, the bad smell and the little girl smell comes from there.
I do. We'll follow the little girl. She's the order of
Okay.
priority.
Okay. All right, let's go. And
All
he
right.
will
I'll move
before
the eye direction, he says.
do so.
Yeah, so it can move 30 feet. So if it moves the same pace we are, I have it 120 feet ahead of us.
Okay, yeah, no worries. There's some twists and turns, and you're moving the eye ahead. And as you guys are walking, I'd say Hero and Drysrinn, you're seeing like Ulric, like if the hair could be standing up on his neck, it would. Like you can tell that there's like some fear about him. This smell is really just like throwing him off, and he's kind of like he's not stopping or is going to stop, but you can tell like he's definitely taking like a defensive stance and going around corners much more carefully. Um, it's at this point where you guys come to this sort of long hallway, and Ulrich does stop at a certain point. He just kind of comes to a stop, and you realize why because you start to hear what he can. You know what? He would hear it long before, so I'm going to say he does stop. You guys can't hear it. He goes, "There's some, what is that? There's some woman's whispering in the dark. Some, something trying to breathe in the dark." Uh, and at this point, Termata, your eye does make it down, and whoever's being Termata's little guide here will say, Yvain, you look back and turn around and probably see the color leave Termata's face. Termata, you're going to see what Ulric is describing down the end of the hallway. You see, the first thing you see is a hole in the wall where the old stone walls sort of been battered down. Something is sort of probably recently because of the dirt, the sort of rough dirt on the ground. And there's footprints in the dirt making its way down the hallway. And you see, I gotta change the music because we're about to get really fucking gross here. You see this. It would be. I'm going to say that she's a woman, but she's the further to call her a woman is difficult at this point because she looks like someone who was once any old lady, but looks like she's been taken apart and put back together many times. Her limbs are twisted, like her forearms are like spun around maybe once and elongated. You do see bone growths and protrusions across her body where literally it looks like someone took her, like, I can't say it enough. Someone looks like they took her apart, bone for bone, muscle for muscle, and put it all back together. She is tall, spindly and tall, but also strangely muscular despite her like elongated body. She has what looks to be like a length of many chains, long, hanging down from her back, and trail behind her almost like a bridal gimp, or like whatever it's called, the bridal veil. I think that's what it's called. That trails behind, but it's just long chains that just seem to have follow along her like again a veil. And the chains are held to her body, her scalp, and her shoulders by hooks that are embedded in her flesh. Her arms and her hands are covered in like not healed terrible scars of writing, just line after line after line after line after line, all the way across and over her body in a language you don't even recognize, in an alphabet you don't even recognize. that covers her body, and she is holding in her hand. Oh, also, her fingers are long with broken fingernails, like she's been digging with her bare hands, like just dirt under her fingernails. And the last and possibly most imposing thing about her, aside from the horribleness, she has a massive warhammer in her hand. It is seems to be made from a single piece of immaculately carved obsidian. It has the faces of dozens of people screaming in pain within chains across the handle and spikes that surround the top of where the hand would hold the weapon. The weapon is massive in weight and seems to have been dragged behind her, as her body doesn't seem like it should be up to the task of carrying it. And there's clearly drag marks along the ground. She is spindly and large and craned over and seemingly whispering. Well, you can't hear this far down, but Ulric hears whispers and is craned over a horrified little tiefling girl.
As we are currently paused, and I'm trying to like make sense of what I'm seeing before I describe it to everybody, can I take the study action? Either I'm aiming for either Arcana or History. Have I ever seen or heard of anything like this before?
You can make a religion check.
That I can do, because that I have. 10?
A 10. Never in your life have you seen such fucking horror. You've seen some bad shit in your time, my reformed cultist, but this person, I will give you this stuff for 10, is as much of an embodiment of the crawling king as you have ever seen. The crawling king, yes, the crawling king is Torog, the god of torturers, jailers, creatures of the deep. He is a horrible, aberrant god.
That's
Evil.
perfect. So I would describe, I would say, what I see and what Ulric smells, I can only describe as an embodiment of the crawling god itself. It is a massively broken creature with a massively large warhead.
Hero, go. Drysrinn, go. Go.
Yeah, at a certain point in your description, Tremont, you find the party going, "That's good." And
Clear
you
the
guys,
hurdles.
you guys make your way down the way. Or we're kind of getting pushed forward. There's a momentary reluctance until he goes into the run. And
Can I
there's a
step of the
certain
wind?
point. If you want to blow past, absolutely. If you want to take to the front,
Yes.
you blow past Ulric, and as you do so, you guys all come and the light illuminates this. Like the guy started to, like Tormata started describing, and you guys were like, "Okay, let's go." And you didn't get halfway through the description, and at which point you are halted by the horrific figure you see, who turns around and looks at you all, and you see she has a flop, a single just like a flop of gray hair that hangs over the side of her face, and a mouth sewn tightly shut. And she smiles, and you're all going to hear a voice in your mind, but it is directed at you, Yvain. What have I done? Just good to see another of the faithful. Oh, I have missed my friends. Welcome, Doc.
I am so sorry. Above the table, you cut out a little bit,
No
and I
problem. No
had a
problem.
hard time
No
understanding
problem.
you. I'm so sorry.
It's all good. It's all good. She said, "Sorry, I'm trying to be soft. That's how her voice is." But I'll just put it out there. The voice that comes to your mind is clearly from this fucked up entity, but is disturbingly calm and motherly. And she says, "A follower of Ayu. Hello. It's so lovely to see another of you faithful. I've missed the Lord Keepers. Is the stores in Amman as beautiful as I remember?
On occasion.
Ah, how I miss the night sometimes."
What brings you to Whitestone?
She looks around behind her at Gwendolyn. As she moves, you hear her spinal column go as her head turns to look back at Gwendolyn and sort of unsnaps as she turns back and says, "I have done my master's will. Fear not. No harm to the children. No harm should come. The children, they are without sin, unlike us all." And her long, spindly arm sort of just goes over to Gwendolyn and kind of like caresses her face with a long, spindly finger. And Gwendolyn's just like not like petrified, but is certainly like, this is a dangerous person. um, and and then Gwendolyn just sort of stands up and kind of tiptoes around her as the lady kind of watches her walk by her and kind of then takes off to all of you. And kind of like, who's at the front? Drysrinn? Doesn't know who you are, but you're better. You're better than that. She just kind of like just like jumps
Doing
and
the
like,
get behind me.
yeah, you kind of put her behind you.
Mm-mm.
Ulric's like, "I've never seen a child before. Here, who's ever behind me? Hero, it's your turn."
I'll pick her up. Jeez Louise. She's been traumatized. I'll pick her up and then I'll hand her behind me. Because I'm pretty sure that's Ember. Or Yvain. Or, someone better suited to kids.
Yvain is actually pushing through.
Lovely.
Okay.
If this thing
I'll-
is speaking.
I'll take Gwendolyn.
Okay, Ember, you take Gwendolyn from Kiro. Yvain, you push to the front. Ulric is like, he's not doing anything, but he's behind Drysrinn, like ready to jump this woman in a moment. And as you push forth Yvain to the front, she starts to. You hear the groaning of the warhammer dragging along the ground. You hear the chains rumbling behind her, and she begins to sort of stagger towards you, Yvain.
However far
she
forward
kinda-
Yvain is walking, I'm going to give her like a step, but I'm walking however far forward she is.
I assume, Yvain, you're pretty much like, you're like a step in front of the pack, so you're not too far away. So Drysrinn, Kiro, and Ulric are at the front. They're just like ready to go if it's needed. But she sort of drags forward and gets like 5 feet past the hole in the wall, and then kind of you hear her sort of real world grunt at the light. You hear in your voice, and she goes, "Oh, the light hurts now. He doesn't like the light. It is false. It is false." She backs up 5 feet towards the tunnel.
How tall is the ceiling?
That's a question. We'll say 10 feet.
All right. I would have dropped as soon as the voice, and everyone moved ahead. I would have dropped Arcane Eye, and I would have cast Freedom of Winds upon myself.
That sounds cool.
It basically gives me flight, and I have advantage on avoid being grappled, restrained, or paralyzed. And if I am the target of a spell or effect, I can use my reaction to teleport up to 60 feet. But when I do
Jesus.
so, I can teleport, and I ignore the effect that tried to get me, but the spell ends then.
Oh, okay. Very cool spell. The
So
spell
for
is
everyone around Armada or Tormata, you hear like a whoosh of flames, and the wind picks up, and he lifts up off the ground.
You lift up so way at the back there you do that.
Yeah, so I can actually see over everybody too.
Yeah, you kind of see over everybody. I think it's far enough back that it doesn't provoke anything. You're kind of at the back, closer to the back of the line. She will say to you, Yvain. She sort of brings her arm up as like the shoulder bones aren't quite there. She says, "Forgotten lore, darling. I keep it here always to remember. But I have learned the truth which all knowledge sought to point towards, the great gift of the beneath. If you wish to learn, truly know Ayun's true face, come with me. There's so much to be learned in suffering, darling." And the creature's hand opens the gesture to welcome you.
I must decline. My sight comes from another.
Her hand. Such a shame. So much to be learned. The monks do so fear the great truth of darkness and suffering. I have no doubt we will all meet again. But now it's time for me to go. I've served my purpose. And she puts her hands in the side of the tunnel, still dragging the hammer behind her as she goes, and kind of pulls herself through the tunnel, groaning as she goes, pulling the sort of wreath of chains into the tunnel behind her as she disappears into the blackened shade of darkness of the underground. Such is the way of the fallen king. There's no doubt in your mind, Tomata, that this is a thing, the god of suffering and darkness. And with that, you have witnessed something and saved Gwendolyn. And didn't fight, which took me a little by surprise. But that is where we will end our session for tonight, and we will we'll just dissect that later.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Damn, I was getting ready to cast more spells.